Hello everyone and welcome to the McGonagall Boxing Podcast. Let's get straight to it. The big news, the breaking news. Errol Spence has warned Terence Crawford. Yes, he had an interview yesterday where he's threatening Crawford pretty much, saying he's going to knock him out if and when they meet. Now, my advice to Spence right now is be careful what you wish for, because we all know Spence's problems with alcohol over the last 2 years. We also know that, sadly, he was involved in a very serious car accident where he's lucky to survive. He suffered multiple injuries, including a nasty concussion, which has left him inactive. Yes, people say he's starting to spar now, but you wonder how heavy that is and obviously how safe that is right now. Personally, I'd like to see him have the whole year off and start getting back into the ring next year. But is he going to be the fighter that he was before the accident? That's a big thing, because you think about it, the head trauma, the emotional trauma, the physical trauma, that all plays a part. And as Mike Tyson always says, boxing is 80% mental. How much mental strength is Errol Spence got left after that serious, almost life-threatening car accident? Let's not forget, he was in intensive care, for a long time. It wasn't just an overnight stay. This was a serious accident, and he's obviously... Police pulled him for the DUI as well, which means he's been drinking alcohol, which shows a bit like John Jones in UFC. He's got drinking problems. Clearly the nightlife has started to take over him. And as soon as you put alcohol in an athlete's body, that is almost career suicide. You cannot mess around. You cannot play around like that. And this is a big worry. Now, Terence Crawford, I know some people will love him, I know some people don't, but you cannot fail to respect his dedication, his commitment and his hard work. He stays active, he stays in shape, and he's certainly not messing around with alcohol, that's for sure. Yes, he's going to be the naturally smaller man. He's worked his way up, from lightweight. But what we've all seen is he's grown into a welterweight. He's now been there for 2 years. He's now steady, solid welterweight. He's not a case of a small welterweight anymore. And obviously now he's moving into his 32, 33 years old. He's filling out. So I'm not so worried about the size issue. Yes, Spence is a big welterweight. We all know that. But the ill discipline, he looks like a super middleweight at the moment. He's ballooned up in weight, and again, that's another worry. So inactivity, balloon up in weight, clearly he's had alcohol problems. That's not good when you're fighting a freeweight world champion, a number 2 pound for pound, and a highly unbeaten, skilled, primed Crawford. So be careful what you wish for. Had this been in 2018, you'd have to give the nod to Spence. I felt Crawford was still finding his way in the welterweight division, but now he's a fully grown welterweight, experienced in that weight. He's had some big wins in welterweight division, admittedly over Khan, who was probably over the hill, but even so, yes, he had a tough fight in his last fight, but what happened? He overcame it like Crawford always does. He figures you out eventually. He's got the ability, like Mayweather had, to adapt, to change things, and that's why he's so good. Now, I'm not saying Spence can't change things, but I don't think he's an all-round skilled fighter, and like Crawford is. I think Crawford's elite. I think he's brilliant, and I think his work rate and his adaptability to be able to change things will enable him to beat Spence. So my money is on Crawford if they ever meet. I think, it's probably not going to happen next year, that's for sure. Spence will want a couple more fights, but we're looking at 2022. Hopefully, Crawford will still be around, so he'll still be active. He won't be on the slide. And I think that will be a prime to happen, because Spence will still be very much in his prime. I think Crawford will still be okay for 2022 and game on. But for me, Crawford all the way. Be careful what you wish for, Spence. Very, very intriguing thing right now. But another thing I want to touch upon is the fact that we do need a young star coming through the welterweight divisions. We've got that in the lightweight, haven't we, with Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, all coming up, all young, all under 25 years old. Exciting, but I don't see that in the welterweight division. The established stars now have been around for 5 or more years. You've got the likes of Spence, late 20s now. I believe he might be 30. Actually, Crawford, obviously 32, 33. You've got the guys now that won't be around for too much longer. Furman, Khan. You got Brook, who's up and down. Yeah, and he's obviously tail end of his career. So Sean Porter, similar thing, tail end of his career. So 5 years ago, the welterweight division was the lightweight division now, wasn't it? It was absolutely buzzing, young fighters, up and coming. Now, it's an aging division, isn't it? Even Manny Pacquiao, 42 years old, is a champion. As great as Pacquiao was, and as good as he still is, it shows you the decline in the welterweight division. It needs a young, bustling star who's going to come over and take over the mantle of Crawford, of Spence. That's what we're looking for. The lightweight division have got it. The heavyweight division had it, didn't they, a few years ago with the likes of Joshua coming up. Now the welterweight division needs it, a big resurgence, and I think it will happen like anything. But yeah, for me, Crawford's the man in the welterweight division. He's still the man to beat. Spence, a good fighter, was a great fighter. I'm not going to call him great anymore. I think his inactivity, his last fight against Sean Porter was a real blood and guts affair. Yes, he won it, but I tell you what, it was close. I gave it 8-4 to Spence, but Porter gave him all kinds of problems, and that's Porter. He's not as good as Crawford in my view, and in many people's view. So I know style makes fights, but if Porter's doing that to Spence, what's Crawford going to do? Especially after this accident, especially after Spence inactivity. Be careful what you wish for. I'm saying Crawford beats Spence. Let me know what you guys think. We need a star in the welterweight division as well, don't we? We need a young gun. I want to hear your thoughts. Drop me a line on my Instagram, my Facebook, the McGonagall Boxing Podcast, and drop me a line on YouTube. And I'll see you tomorrow, guys. So yes, Spence, Crawford, let's get it on. Not now, probably not in 2021. 2022 is going to happen. And believe me, Crawford will win. All right, guys, I'm out. Catch you soon. Bye.